set. I kick a hole in the
See much Thursday Night Football last night? Wow. The Dallas Cowboys hang on and beat the Giants 20-15. Our next guest, based on what he posted today, I think he's had it with Thursday Night Football. You know him, of course, as an NBC Sports Bay Area 49er pre- and post-game host and analyst. Rod Brooks back with us. Rod, you've just about had it with Thursday Night Football, huh?
Yeah, I have. But wait a minute, though. Wait a minute, man. Y'all always come in with the righteous tune.
Yeah.
We're not going to let y'all rocking that microphone theme from the great Eric B. and the God Rakim. We're not going to
Rod, what you know about that, man? What you know about that, Rod Brooks? What you know about that?
You know what? You better watch your mouth. I put the O's in old school. Right? I'm proud to say that.
Hey, are you a drummer? I saw also on your Twitter profile that you're a drummer, Rod. Is that true?
Yeah. I beat him in the submission every now and again. Sure.
Where can we hear some of your work? Is there any place?
Oh, you don't want that. No. No, I play with some friends, and it's for me really it's primal scream therapy. You know, you get out of the car after being in traffic for God knows how long. Y'all know how it is here in Northern California. Get on the drums, man, and you just beat the life out of them. So yeah, no, I've been doing it now for I guess maybe 15 years. It's just something I thought I'd teach myself how to do, and I love it.
Yeah, because I'll just say this, and I know we're talking football here, but most people, if they're not very good at something, they don't advertise it. You know what I mean, Drape? So Rod says, and he just throws it in there. You know, he says host, radio, TV, is drummer, and I was like, whoa, yeah. I bet he's got some skills.
Yeah, that's how I get down. I mean, I'm not gonna pat myself on the back, but have drum set will travel, no doubt.
Very nice. But Thursday Night Football, you ready to beat that into submission?
Nah, man. I mean, it's over.
Damn.
Listen, I think I'm in like company here. We all love football, but when's the last time got a Thursday night matchup that A, you were excited about, and B, even if you were not excited about it, actually was a game where you felt like it was worth your 3 hours and change in watching. Last night, Cowboys Giants was just another example of it. Thursday Night Football is just, if you call it mid, I think you're giving it too much credit. It's just not good. It's not good football. And I wonder, how long is Amazon going to keep paying the billions of dollars it's paying for a product that's just not very good? Because guys aren't rested. Coming off a Sunday, 3-hour car crash, guys are getting hurt because they haven't had the recovery time. The officiating is terrible. I mean, it's just bad football all the way around.
I hear you, Rod, but let me ask you this. Is bad football better than no football?
Now, see, that's the age-old question, because will I sit down and watch bad football? Yes, because I'm a hypocrite, because I love football. But the thing, though, is maybe just one more day. What if it was done, and maybe this won't make a difference, but what if it was done on Friday instead of Thursday? For me, it's just about the quality of football, but more importantly, player health, because those guys just have not had the right amount of time to recover before they go out there and play another football game. And you can't tell me that the injuries, and listen, I hate the Cowboys, but I don't want to see anybody get hurt. You can't tell me that the injuries suffered by Cowboy players last night didn't have anything to do with them only being 4 days removed from their last football game.
Yeah, we're catching up, of course, with Rod Brooks. For all the talk of the injuries the 49ers are dealing with offensively, Rod, isn't the defense right now actually a bigger problem, a bigger impediment to their actual winning of games?
No, without a doubt. That is the biggest issue, and it's the issue that needs to be fixed immediately, because now you are putting pressure on the Niner offense. I think can handle it, especially now that you're getting Kittle back. Looks like Debo's coming back. McCaffrey, knock on wood, hopefully sooner rather than later. But that puts a lot of pressure. This bad Niner defense, really in all three levels, puts a lot of pressure on that offense to be flawless, quite frankly. They have to score, and they have to score touchdowns, because this is a defense that is not stopping the run. They're not getting enough pressure on the quarterback, with the exception of Bosa. Linebackers in coverage, with the exception of Fred Warner, absolutely not good. And you have a secondary that you have inexperience. There might be a talent issue or two. and you have, a lack of communication. So until this defense gets fixed, all the pressure is on the offense. Like I said, be flawless, and you can't have guys dropping passes. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't have special teams mistakes, in punt coverage, or the obvious in missing field goals. So until this Niner defense doesn't, because it's not going to be, but it doesn't have to be like 2022. But it can't be statistically, as it is right now in way too many categories, one of the worst in all of football. They're allowing 6 yards per play. That's 30th in the league out of 32 teams. You're giving up 23 points a game. That's 21st. The success rate for opposing teams running the ball is 52%. That's 28th. They're 21st in rush yards per attempt against 4.5. I could keep going and on down the list. The only team that is worse statistically defensively than the Niners, the team they're playing Sunday in New England. They have some pretty bad defensive stats too, particularly in pass defense. Niners got to fix that before they're even thinking about, forget about winning a Super Bowl or playing for a Super Bowl. They're not going to be able to beat some of these head-knocking teams they got coming up, starting with the Kansas City Chiefs in a few weeks.
Hey, Rod, I'll start off by saying everybody knows I'm an Eagles guy, but I feel like the last 2 years we go into the season on paper. This is the best team in the NFL. This defense should wreak havoc. Last year, Steve Wilkes was the fall guy. Who's it going to be this year? Where's the buck going to stop? Is it Shanahan? Is it Sorensen? The player's just not good enough. What are you seeing here through the first 3 weeks?
First off, don't you have your own set of problems? I'm just kidding. I'm playing.
I'm nervous about my Eagles. We're not looking good. We 2-1, but we're not looking good. I understand that.
Hey, but you know what, though? The Niners and the Eagles are looking better than the Cowboys. So keep it together on that. All right, there we go. I mean, listen, man, these are all legitimate questions. I think a couple of things. I am a Kyle Shanahan, I don't want to say fan. It's not because I'm trying to paint myself different than a Kyle Shanahan fan, but I want to use the word, I think he's an extremely good coach. Now, that doesn't mean he's perfect. He does have flaws, but I think you are much better off with Kyle Shanahan than you are without Kyle Shanahan. I believe that's the best way to put it. So this idea that he's on the hot seat, I know that's not necessarily what you're asking, but this idea that he's on the hot seat because this team is underperforming here still in the very early goings of the season after they just went to the Super Bowl, I'm not buying that. There's a lot of pressure on Nick Sorensen, though. We're talking about music earlier. It's like the new guy in the band. The new guy comes into a band, all of a sudden the band's not gelling. They always don't look at the new guy. That's what Metallica did when Jason Newsted showed up. Things weren't gelling, and all of a sudden it was Jason Newsted's fault. Mm-hmm. So you don't look at Sorensen and be like, hey, man, what's the deal? Because, again, on all three levels of this defense, they're not very good, starting with their inability to stop the run. So Sorensen is going to get a lot of looks. But really, for me, it's a talent thing, man. You have guys who are not living up to what they should be, like Leonard Floyd. You don't have Dre Greenlaw, which means you had to put Devondre Campbell in there, and he is absolutely getting picked on. Opposing quarterbacks, their rating when they target Devondre Campbell is 125. So you don't have Dre Greenlaw in there because he's hurt. You put Devondre Campbell in, and all of a sudden now he's a liability in coverage. I'm a big fan of Charvarius Ward. He made the Niners a much better defense last year, but he hasn't played particularly well. And they have, as I mentioned earlier, they have some issues in the secondary where you just have guys who are maybe just not that good. So for me right now, a hard time going, again, I know you're not necessarily asking this. I have a hard time looking at going, what's the coach's fault? Yeah, they bear some responsibility because you win as a team, you lose as a team. But I think the Niners' biggest problem overall is personnel, is talent. You're missing some guys that you desperately need, and the guys you replace them with just aren't getting the job done.
Yeah, you didn't even mention Yadam and his, passer rating against is
there you go. Yeah.
Obscene. Yeah, I agree with you. And you mentioned it. I was just going to ask you. You touched on it there. The 49ers miss Dre Greenlaw maybe even more than they thought they would, right?
Oh, I think listen, they knew they missed Greenlaw in
Yeah.
the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, they knew it, and that's why they tried to replace him with with Hendrickson. That didn't work. You know, he decided he didn't want to come to the Niners for whatever reason, that he has a right to do, and he decides to go to the Cowboys. And I was looking at his stat. Gosh, I wonder if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Kendrick's, his Pro Football Focus grades, if you take what they do seriously, he's 30th in coverage, number 21 graded linebacker by PFF overall. You look at Campbell, he's 57th overall. He's number 64 in coverage. So Kendrick's, if he's out there with Fred Warner and flagging fouls, maybe the Niners don't have as big of a hole in coverage as they do at linebacker with Campbell. So yeah, man, until get a little bit deeper into the season, I'm just looking at the guys who are out there. And you mentioned Yidam. It's not happening for him either. He's already been hit for PI. 110 rating allowed against the Rams. So it's just not working from a talent standpoint. And those guys have to get better. But everybody's got to get better.
Yeah. Hey, Rod, you got the Patriots coming into town this weekend. Do they do anything that could have scared San Francisco?
Yeah, run the ball.
Ramondre
Stevenson. Hey, man. That's a big dude. and he can run the ball.
But he's a fumble factory this year so far. He's a fumble factory.
No, he is. But when he gets going, that means, he's got a lather, and that means the Patriots offense is doing what they want to do. I mean, really for the Niners, it's very simple against the Patriots, but it lines up against what the Niners have not done. You stop the run game for the Patriots and make them have to use Jacoby Brissett, and their two top receivers are tight ends, starting with Hunter Henry. But if you make them a passing first team, then you got them. But with the Niners showing, as we see now over these first 3 weeks, an inability to stop the run as much as they need to, that's the thing that can be scary. I think the Niners are going to win the game, no doubt. But this does set up to focus on a pressure point for the Niners defensively that has been very obvious, which is their inability to stop the run. But if Stevenson and Antonio Gibson, the other running back, if they get going and the Niners aren't stopping the run, and the next thing you know, Brissett's comfortable, and Hunter Henry, who against the Seahawks a couple of weeks ago, even though the Patriots lost that game 23-20, Hunter Henry had like 11 catches for well over 100 yards, something crazy like that. So, yeah, it's the Niners are favored, and rightfully so, but this ain't a game where the Niners go, yeah, we got these guys. They got to knuckle up and stop the run first and foremost.
All right, Rod, we appreciate it. Before we let you go, how about our homework assignment? What drummer do you recommend this week before we talk to you next week? Who do we need to listen to? Any genre?
What? I just ran across a video, Drumeo. It's, if a drummer like me, Drumeo is a place you go to just watch some videos or whatever. And they did hour-long sit-down behind a drum kit with Stuart Copeland of the Police.
My favorite.
Really? Yeah.
Dave Grohl and Keith Moon, those are my guys. Those are who got me into drumming. But Stuart Copeland is number 3. He's right there. He's absolutely one of my favorites. One of the most unique drummers, I think, in the history of rock and roll. But yeah, man, I kind of went down a rabbit hole with Copeland and the Police, one of my favorite bands.
Yes.
Just kind of got that feeling again. It was like, oh man, I love these guys. So yeah, Stuart Copeland of the Police, dude. He is an absolute beast.
I love Stuart Copeland.
There you
Great
go.
answer.
All right,
Great answer.
all right.
Yeah. Thank you, Rod. We appreciate it. We'll see you on TV. Enjoy the game. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, you guys have a great week.
All right.
Yeah. How about that?
That's good stuff.
The 49ers are favorites this week. You know how much they're favored by? Have you seen?
10.5. I'm just guessing.
Last I saw was 10.
Okay.
Yeah. And we'll tell you why that number is something that should frighten 49er fans when we come right back to Sactown Sports.